Hi everybody, Stuff and Things here. I'm recording my voiceover today outside while I'm taking a break at work, so you might hear a little wind or some grasshoppers out in the background. So to start things off, here I am trying to get another fakie flip again, and it was a bit of a battle on this day. That one right there was a bit of a slam, landed kind of on my lower back, lower like pelvis area, and that was sore for a couple of days after that slam. But I kept going anyway, and finally did get rewarded with the clean landing on a fakie flip again. After that success, I was brave enough to go after fakie heel, and I've been scared to do this for a long time because this is the trick that sprained my ankle way back in December. So these are my first tries at fakie heel. I didn't show you all the tries, but I did get one there, so I'm really happy to get that and get over the fear of doing the trick that I hurt myself on. Then here we are just doing regular kick flips again. I'm always trying to improve these. My kick flips slowly are getting better. Then I went to switch heel because I've been doing well with the flip tricks that I know, and I need to keep expanding that. So I'm going for switch heel. I've never landed one rolling. I've landed a handful of them stationary. So today was the day to try some of these rolling and see what happens. And I got a couple really close ones where both feet landed back on the board. So that was really great. Even if my feet didn't land back on the board, I was getting some pretty good flips, but I'm still dialing in that flicking foot because it just feels super weird to do it with the other foot. I tend to want to kick out too much towards my toes and not up into the nose of the board enough, but you know, we're getting there. So then after some success there, getting closer, I was like, okay, I need to bring back switch flip as well. I've only done this twice, and it was a while back before I had sprained my ankle. So I'm trying to kind of rebuild that flicking motion with my right foot instead of my left foot. And I've been trying to at least try some varial flips during my sessions. Got a really ugly one there, but it's, you know, it's maintenance, it's progress. Then I did a little bit of like curb warm up on the edge of the mani pad here that's waxed and slides relatively well. Try to get some backside 50-50s and backside 5-0. Got most of a 5-0 there. It kind of stuck right at the end, and I was a little bit bummed about that. It was unfortunate because it was sliding so well, and then it stuck right at the end. So here, once again, are more kick flips. I'm just really obsessed with getting this trick better. But during this session, I was getting some better flips because you know how mine tend to be pretty ugly, and a lot of times the board will bounce off the ground, and I'll be able to land it, but it's not very good. So there I was saying that I got 3 in a row, so we got to just keep going. That makes 4. Let's just keep going and see what happens. 5 in a row. This is definitely some sort of record because these are all rolling too. And then there we are going for 6, and I landed it, but I stepped off. So 5 in a row is my new record for rolling kick flips in a row. That was super cool. Then my buddy Warren Peter Leeds, and I'll put a link to his channel down in the description, said that if he came to this skate park, that this curb feature on the edge of like the hip bank area that I never ever skate is the thing that he would skate. So he was like, you should try some slappies on that. And I was like, you know what, you're right, I never do. So let's try something new, expand my horizons a little bit. This was way harder than I expected. I think if it was just on flat ground and not on the bank where I have to roll up with a bunch of speed, I'd probably be able to do it better. Figuring out the speed and how to get the speed in this skate park was actually way harder than I expected. I finally did get a couple of backside 50-50s and then came out, kind of popped out the other side. So that's something new. It was good to try. I'm not saying it was my favorite thing in the world, but I'm glad I did it. Then back to the mani pad, doing my nose manuals that I love to do, and I got the nollie shoves out both ways pretty quickly this day after only a couple of tries each, so that was really nice.
What the hell?
Okay, we got to look at that again. I'm not trying to do nollie inward heel off the mani pad, but boy, if that could ever happen by accident, and you can tell it was by accident because it did the flip because it kind of rolled off the curb in a weird way. If that could ever happen, that would be amazing. Now here, we're trying to get back to heel flips on the mani pad, and I have done heel flip up the mani pad before. And since heel flips were feeling so good and I was getting a few up the mani pad, I wanted to get heel flip up and heel flip down. I never did connect with it, but I got a couple really good heel flips. They were just feeling so locked today, like unusually good. And I was having a great time trying this, I was sort of like, oh man, I'm in the zone. It's only a matter of time. And I was so pleased with how well I was popping these and how high they were going up the mani pad, and had a lot of space still between my board and the mani pad when I would catch it. But then we got to this point. I slipped out on this one. I had totally lost concentration because if you don't know, I'm really easily distracted by things that shouldn't be there when I skate. So out on the road, if cars go by, it distracts me. There I'm just kind of chucking my board in frustration. And I was frustrated because coming down the road right when I was going to try is this garbage truck. And is that their fault? No, because they're just driving around. It's my fault. I know I get distracted by those things and I shouldn't, but it's something that I have to battle all the time. Okay, now we're on the A-frame, and I don't use this very often. I was working on my ollies, and so here is me trying to improve my ollies on the A-frame. Sometimes on the way back, I was going for a manual over the A-frame, which I have done once before, and I wanted to get it again. But I was realizing that my ollies, it's all about the pop for me. My pop is not great, and I need to improve it. I need to improve the timing of kind of getting my body moving up, getting upward momentum, and then snapping that ankle so that I can travel up and the board will come with me. I think this is one of my best ones, a bit more height there and better pop, making it actually happen. And I found that it was actually really fun to just work on this, pretty basic trick, but just to see if I could get it better and better, really dial it in and focus on the details was a lot of fun. Finally got the manual there. And then something kind of new to wrap up this day. When I was coming up this bank, I ended up kind of putting my board up in sort of a blunt position. And I was like, maybe I should see if I could learn a blunt stall on this. And so I tried it a couple times. Getting the speed just right was hard. And since it doesn't have coping, it doesn't really want to lock in. But it was a great thing to try as a new trick because I think blunt stall looks so cool, but I have no idea how to do it. So this was a good start and something that I would kind of like to pursue in the future. So then I wanted to try it somewhere that has coping, but the transition at this park is so steep, it's not beginner friendly. And so I tried a bunch of times on this little section that kind of dips down. Even though it's at a weird angle and sideways, I did manage to get a blunt to rock to fakie, so that was good. So then I tried it again over here where there's no coping so that it was smooth again, just to try it on a different piece of transition. And yes, I fell a bunch of times, but luckily they were good falls, the ones you can kind of roll out of. And finally got one right there that I was pretty happy with. So that was fun to do something new. So here we are back in the garage. I haven't had a garage session in a little while. So I'm starting with the ollies, and I'm working on the details of the ollies again. And I learned from the other day that I need to focus on that pop and get that back foot to really snap and get the board to come up with me. I was also trying to kind of lean back a little bit more and push my front leg out instead of straight down. And I was getting a little bit better at that, but I wasn't gaining any height because of it, but at least maybe the mechanics can slightly improve if I can get better at that skill. And then if I can put all of those things together, then we could actually maybe have a decent ollie, because I'm not happy with my ollie. It's not very good. But still trying to play with that front foot and the snap at the same time. So the movement there of my legs, though, I am liking. It's getting a little bit better. Now, that one actually had some pop. I had better pop timing there and got more height, but then, of course, I didn't slide the foot forward. So it's really hard to do all of the things all at the same time. So now I'm just going through some basics. I got a monster pop shove there. That one felt great. And a pretty decent front shove as well. That was really nice because that trick is usually pretty hard for me. Decent heel flip there. And now I'm going to work on kick flips again. There's an example of the ugly one that bounces off the ground. And then I was really focusing on pop and getting my foot to go up instead of down through the board. And I got that kick flip right there. That's easily the best kickflip I've ever done because I actually got it up off the ground, caught it in the air. I shot a couple other ones in slow-mo, hoping I would get another good one. And there's some improvement. That was another one that's caught in the air, so that's good. But nothing like the one that really got some good air time. But I am seeing gradual improvement in the kickflip department overall. So now I wanted to get back to that switch heel because I want to get these a little more regular. Got a close one there. Remember, I haven't had a switch heel rolling yet. And dialing in that front foot again was still the thing to focus on. What's the angle like? Which direction do you flick? Trying to figure that out. But I was getting a lot closer. And so finally in the garage, we got one that was pretty clean. You can tell from my body that I wasn't expecting that.
Let's go. Switch heel rolling. Yeah.
Okay, so after that, I've got to go back to switch flip. I'm just working on mechanics still. I've got to develop that flick. But on this day, the flick was getting a lot better. I was finding the angle a little bit more there. I got a 1.5, which was really cool. And I was getting the board to flip a couple times, and I could get a one-footed landing from time to time. So it's really encouraging. It's good progress. I'm not there yet, but progress, that's all we really need, and that's what I'm after. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.